God bless each and every one of you. This is Pastor Dan Lawson. It's time for the United Gospel Outreach Bible Study. And I'm going to only be with you for about 10 minutes tonight because I know that you are busy cooking your Thanksgiving dinner. And I do not want to get in the way of that. But I did want to bring you a word, a quick concept, a quick principle, scriptural principle that can be on your mind while you are cooking your Thanksgiving dinner and serving it on tomorrow. Something relevant and something that will stick with you, but also something that will benefit you spiritually. Because if we're not going to get any spiritual benefit, then we don't need to do this. But I think that this will give some spiritual benefit to your spiritual life and ministry. So I want to talk about the difference between batter and cake. The difference between batter and cake. Well, you know what batter is? A batter is when you blend a mixture of flour, eggs, butter, sugar, spices, and you do all this to achieve a certain flavor or taste. But when it's in this batter state, then you can't eat that. You're not going to serve that. You're not going to serve batter. But you will serve it when it reaches the status of cake. Because everybody can enjoy a good slice of cake or a good slice of pie on Thanksgiving Day. But what they don't want to do is eat batter, uncooked batter, because that's just not going to be satisfying and that's just not going to be tasteful. Now, when my wife is cooking, she brings me uncooked things to taste to make sure she's got the right blend. And I'm sure that, a lot of you use your husband and your children and whatever to taste your food, but I can taste it, but I do not want to eat a lot of batter. But when it's finished, when it's a finished product, and when it's cake, I can put away some of that. So what batter is batter has all the ingredients blended in. But until it's heated over time, it's not a finished product. Some of you already know where I'm going with this. Batter has all the ingredients blended in. You beat them with the egg beater and made sure that they're well mixed. And you got a big bowl of batter. But you can't eat that, and you're not going to ask anybody else to eat that. But once you heat it in the oven over a period of time, there is value added when you put it in heat over a period of time. You're not going to serve any raw food tomorrow on Thanksgiving. Think about it. Look at all the stuff that you have on the counter and on the table right now, that you got collards that's not been cut up and put in a pot yet. And you got sweet potatoes that haven't been peeled. And you got white potatoes. You've not put them in the state where they need to be in order to produce a potato salad. You're not going to serve the food raw. But when you do blend it and put it together like you want it, and you put it in heat over a period of time, now you got something that's valuable. Now you got something that everybody is going to fight over and be crazy about and going to be piling their plates up because it's been cooked and now it's ready for consumption. When I think about raw food, when I think about batter before it's cooked, I think about the so many church folk that are laying on God's spiritual counter tonight, and they're not ready for ministry. they're not ready to be used by God in ministry. Not just the fivefold ministry, apostle, prophet, evangelist, pastor, and teacher. But I'm talking about the regular layman ministry in a church fellowship where we edify one another, we bless one another, we encourage one another. And there are so many of us that are not ready to do that and be used by God to get that done, because they have not allowed the Lord to put them in that fiery heat for the necessary time. Some of you got those stoves where you have timers and you know how long a pie is supposed to stay in the oven. You know how long a layer of cake is supposed to stay in the oven. And you put those timers on and you don't take them out until that bell rings, because you know that that amount of time is necessary. It's one thing to put it in the heat, but you just can't put it in the oven and snatch it back out. There has to be a time period that that particular item stays in that heat. And the problem with many church folk is we don't embrace, we don't appreciate, we don't understand the value of the fiery trials that God puts us through to make us better. Think it not strange, the fiery trials that will come and try you. But be patient and let patience have its perfect work. And when you come forth, you'll come forth as pure gold. So my point tonight, and the concept that I want to express to all of those that believe in God, and tonight you're preparing this big Thanksgiving dinner to be served on tomorrow. I want you to look at that Thanksgiving dinner and understand the necessity that even though you got the right stuff, even though you've blended it, you very carefully blended it like it's supposed to be, if you want it to be tasteful, if you want it to be consumed, if you want it to be something that people can enjoy, then you've got to put it in heat over a period of time. And for all you saints, if you want to hear the Lord say, "Well done," then you must embrace whatever time God has for you in those situations where he tried you, where he proved you, where he tests you, where he developed you, where he mold you, make you. You must embrace that time, because you're not going to be well done until that bell rings. Then you can be fit for the master's use. So that gives you something to think about as you continue to fix your Thanksgiving dinner. And even as you serve it tomorrow and you see people clawing in and reaching in and pulling that food over to their plate, think about the time you had to subject that food to heat in the oven, in a skillet, on top of the stove, inside the stove. Think about the time that you had to subject that food to the heat, and how if you had not done so, if you had not put it in the heat, and if you had tried to serve it to your family without having put any heat to it, how they would push it back at you, you see. So embrace what God takes you through. And I know sometimes it's tough. I know sometimes it's painful, brings tears to your eyes, very hurtful. Everybody that's ever been used by God can tell you about some tough times, some very painful times that they had to go through before they were ready, before their spirit had been humbled enough to be a useful instrument in the hands of God. So that's my Bible study for tonight. Thank you for tuning in, and please get back to your food, because one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to put it in the heat too long. God will never leave us in the heat too long. So get back to your food before you burn up something. And God bless each and every one of you for tuning in on tonight. Have a happy Thanksgiving for you and all of your family.